presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from San Diego, California, it's game number 2 of the 4-game series. The St. Louis Cardinals and the San Diego Padres. The Cardinals still in the thick of things in the wild card. St. Louis 3 games out in the National League wild card. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. I'm Dan McLaughlin. In just a moment, we'll hear from my partner tonight, Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. Some news, though, here at the ballpark. And with that, on the injury front, we head downstairs to Scott Warman. Scott, what do we know?
All right, Dan, Mike Matheny saying earlier today that Dexter Fowler probably could be a go, but he wants to give him one more day. He's available off the bench. Tommy Pham is also available off the bench. He told us before today's game, Dan, that it looks like his shoulder is feeling much better today. Meanwhile, Colton Wong, he went back to St. Louis to have his back worked on. And for Matt Carpenter, he had an MRI. He's probably going to get a cortisone shot, and he's going to be down for the next couple of days. Danny?
All right, thank you, and let's bring in Jim Edmonds. We were talking about this moments ago. You look at the lineup for the Cardinals outside of Michael Wacha and Yadier Molina tonight. 7 players have been in the minor leagues at some point this year.
Yeah, it's an amazing feat that they're still in this wild card. 7 players tonight, like you said, out of 9, and 23 different call-ups this year at some point. 21 of those coming from Memphis. Just a remarkable situation for the system of the Cardinals, and keep bringing guys up, and they keep doing the job.
Travis Wood, a lefty. We've seen him a bunch in the Central Division. Gets the start tonight for the San Diego Padres. And for the Cardinals, Michael Wacha. Baseball coming up. Beautiful night for baseball. Petco Park in San Diego, game number 2. And it's a major league debut. Breivik Valera saw him a lot in spring training. He's in the big leagues. We've got baseball coming up. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. Petco Park in San Diego, along with the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and Scott Warman is with us as well. Travis Wood, he can swing the bat, he also can pitch. Hyundai pitch arsenal on the lefty of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, he keeps the ball down, good sink. Average velocity, not massive, not huge, Danny. It is just low 90s, upper 80s. Got a good cutter slider, changeups to righties, not to lefties. Interesting, I always like when you see a guy like this, or a pitcher in general, you can eliminate a pitch if you're a left-handed hitter, and it makes it a little easier, but the changeup is the X factor to the right-handers.
We talked about it moments ago in the open. 7 of the 9 in the starting lineup for the Cardinals, some point or another during this regular season, have been with the Memphis Redbirds in the minor leagues. Bader, Grichuk, DeYoung, Martinez, Molina, Piscotty, Valera, major league debut, Mejia, and Michael Wacha, the pitcher. The Cardinals right in the thick of things in the wild card. Bader's hitting .294, and the first pitch is driven out to left field, drops in for a hit. The Padres defensively, Varela in left, Margot in center, and Matt Caesar, the former Cub, in right. Spangenberg, Solarte, Asuaje, Myers on the infield, and Hedges behind the plate. So leadoff base hit for Harrison Bader. Andy Green, the second-year manager of the San Diego Padres. And now it's Randall Grichuk, who's hitting .239. And he looks at a strike. He's popped 19 home runs and driven in 51. Well, you can look at it a couple of different ways. One, you're playing a lot of young players and you're saying, well, all right, it's a look at the future. However, for the Cardinals, it's a look at the future and it's about now. Out of necessity, many of these young players have to play, and it's a little infusion of youth and energy, and maybe the Cardinals just take this and ride it into postseason play. You never know.
It's another version of what we talk about in spring training with the B-Bombers. You throw the young guys out there and watch them go, and man, can they go. So I like what you said, that this is what we're looking for in the future. There's a lot of these guys are the future of the St. Louis Cardinals organization, and I'm sure over the next couple of years they'll sprinkle some guys from here and there, some free agents, but it's a good look at what's to come, and I think it's a pretty good look of some talented young men.
There's Jack Flaherty there on the right. He'll get the start tomorrow. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Fastball and a strikeout of Grichuk. First strikeout of the night.
See that pitch right on the corner, and that's what Travis is going to do. He's going to try to keep the ball down and away. He'll cut the ball in off the plate to righties to get him to think about that, and then back outside, and then with also the changeup. So guy with a lot of control, good location, but you can see that's like a dart coming out of his hand. He's got a tiny little bit of sink, something you don't see from a lefty very often.
Here's Paul DeYoung, and there's strike one. My partner mentioned, I'd say 15-20 minutes ago, he said not much of a crowd, but the crowd you'll see, Danny, will be right behind the Cardinal dugout and a lot of red, and that is the case. A lot of Cardinal fans here.
And there's probably triple the amount of people that were here 20 minutes ago. Everybody was stuck at the turnstile a little bit ago.
It was sparse. So one out runner at first. Bader, by the way, does have one stolen base. Wood has a pretty good move.
Travis Wood not only does he has a good move, he's got a sneaky little step off. When he gets you out there a little too far, he'll give you that little, what we call a C move or a B move, and then he'll try to get you with the A move, and then you've seen it all, and then he'll snap a throw stepping off with his back foot. See if he can't catch you just leaning.
0-2. So just underway here at Petco Park in San Diego. The Cardinals, the fabulous start yesterday from Carlos Martinez. He went the distance in a 2-0 shutout. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Flaherty goes tomorrow night for the Cardinals. Lance Lynn in the finale of the road trip. It's back home in St. Louis. And the 1-2. Say it all the time, but where would the Cardinals be without Paul DeYoung and Tommy Pham? DeYoung has had a tremendous season.
Definitely wouldn't be talking about the wild card right now.
No. Season that began with Fowler, Carpenter, Diaz, that combination of the 3 at the top of the lineup. On base percentage. And now tonight, Bader, Grichuk, DeYoung, and that's driven out to right field. And the catch is made. Bader back to the bag at first. Hard hit ball, but Matt Caesar was there. There's 2 away.
That's the kind of at bat you're going to have against Travis Wood. You're going to have to stay inside the ball, not try to get too greedy. Once he challenges you inside, he's not going to do it very often. And if you pay attention to this game, usually when it's inside off the plate, or it has a little cut to it. So got to stay firm with staying out over the plate. Try to drive the ball into right or center field if they're a right-handed hitter.
Jose Martinez, 300 the average. He's popped 11 home runs, driven in 31. A lot of his damage has been done coming off the bench. Over a 400 hitter as a pinch hitter this season. He's played left, he's played right, and tonight he's at first base. Cardinals looking at potential of a cortisone shot the right shoulder, Matt Carpenter, so he's going to miss a little bit of time here.
Good thing that Martinez, when he's pinch hitting, what he does really well is he's ready to hit. He's ready for that first pitch, and usually pitchers are trying to get ahead, and he's ready to go. And a lot of guys, when they go up there pinch hit, they kind of trying to get a feel for what's happening, and the next thing you know, they're down strike one, maybe even strike two. You got to be aggressive to be a pinch hitter and be successful.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Martinez with a high fly ball, deep right field. Caesar back at the wall, gone! 2-0 Cardinals. A right-handed batter hitting it the opposite way in this ballpark. You catch it. That's what he did. And it's number 12 for Martinez.
See right there, he missed his location and let it sit right over the outside part of the plate. Martinez with a nice swing. That ball carried a little bit tonight. A couple more innings, that's probably an out. See the right fielder, he thinks he's got a chance, and then just a little off. Just a little.
8th home run allowed by Wood. Molina to third. Spangenberg up with it, and he makes the play. Harrison Bader, the single to left, and with 2 outs, Jose Martinez, the home run to right. Got to really catch it to get out of this ballpark, especially going the other way. Martinez, the home run. And for Jose, it is number 12 this year. Toyota keys to the game, and it's the ERA in the first inning, second lowest in all of baseball, 1.08 for Michael Wacha. Hyundai pitch arsenal, the fastball, changeup, cutter, and curve. Throwing the curve a little bit more here recently.
Very consistent on both sides of the plate, too. He throws most of his pitches to the righties and the lefties. Like you said, he's been throwing the curveball a little bit more, and actually the changeup a little bit less to right-handers, but nevertheless, still work in process.
Manuel Margot, and a strike. The thing that's really stood out for me, and maybe not for others, but for me, the velocity. It has been there since opening day. Mid to high 90s for Michael Wacha. That pitch in 95, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I know that one thing we talked about early in the season was his strength and being able to keep up with the entire season. He's really trying to make the adjustment this year and staying strong and working out.
Shallow right, and the catch made by Piscotti, who has been with his mother, by the way, on this entire road trip. Steven has been excited to see his mom and around family and friends. Good for him. Andy Green, his lineup. Margot, Aswahe, Pirela, Solarte, Myers, Spangenberg, Caesar, Hedges, and Wood. Aswahe did not start in the game last night or yesterday afternoon. Came off the bench as a pinch hitter. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Hit out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Big curveball and a beauty.
There's that curveball you're talking about. It's been working on and working on and working on. Can't just pitch up here with 2 pitches.
And the changeup. Misses low and away. Two-two pitch. Carlos Aswahe at the plate. Struck him out in the first of the night from Michael Wacha. Breivik Valera making his major league debut. He's at second base. Mejia, the young Martinez also on the infield. Yadier Molina behind the plate. Grichuk, Bader, Piscotty in the outfield. So Wong dealing with a back issue, and Valera makes his debut. Pirela is hitting .291, 10 home runs. He's driven in 37. Fastball misses in at 96 from Michael Wacha. Well, you know he has the effective changeup when right. And if he could ever master that curveball and have all 3 rolling, we're talking about a guy that could be really good.
And this is one of the things, even when he was effective, he wasn't doing as well right now as he is right now, is inside, outside, down, up. When he's been effective early on in his career, he's just been blowing balls by people, fastball 97, and then climbing up the ladder where guys can't hit it, and then the changeup. We're here, location is starting to be a little bit more pinpoint, and then the curveball. So it's definitely, like I said, the work is starting to pay off, and it's just how long he can go during the course of the year. And like I said, the strengthening and the workouts definitely look like they're paying off too.
There's Jed Jerko in the background. He's due to come off the DL very soon. Cardinals could use that bat potentially off the bench. And dealing with the hamstring issue. And then all of a sudden you could pinch run for him with the call-ups that you have here in September. There's something to think about. 3-2 pitch. 2-out walk. It's a mash unit right now for the Cardinals. All the injuries that they've had. Guys going back and forth from Memphis to St. Louis. Some of the players were here in San Diego going back for medical treatment in the Gateway City. But Fowler a hip issue, Wong the back, Jerko hamstring, Wainwright the elbow, and Carpenter the shoulder. Some pretty big names not in the lineup.
I'm talking about your core pretty much right there. And it's not a good sign, but luckily these young kids keep coming up and keep producing.
Here's Solarte. 2 outs and a runner at first. They're in the bottom of the 8th. Cincinnati leading Milwaukee 7-3. Scooter Gennett 3-run homer in the 5th. Bottom of the 6th, Colorado leading San Francisco 2-1. Keep an eye on those scores throughout our telecast tonight. The Cardinals potentially could find themselves 2 games out in the wild card. They're a game and a half as we speak back of Milwaukee. As Solarte taps that foul. Not on that list that we had in the graphic, missing, and maybe the most important guy this year, Tommy Pham, and he's out. Banged up his face and his shoulder sliding into second base yesterday. Two balls and one strike on Solarte. Good fastball at 96, 2-2. And here's the play. If you missed it yesterday, watch the helmet. Shoulder gets jammed, helmet right back in his face. Two and two the count. That's hit foul. So having played here in this ballpark, what do you think about the fifth inning of a night game? It gets very tough to hit a home run.
I think you start to notice when you look up at the lights, actually, it starts to get a little hazy. And that's when that cold air starts to sneak in. It's actually a little bit warmer than normal, so it's a little bit later than normal, but you'll see it.
Into center field. Solarte, the base hit. And it brings in Will Myers.
You can even feel the breeze up here. It's still pretty warm. It's a little cooler than it has been obviously all day, but that normal cold breeze that comes in is not as bad right now as it usually is. And you know, sometimes when you're here early in the year, as soon as the sun goes down, the lights are a little hazy.
Well, it definitely was the warmest I could ever remember San Francisco being. And this is about as warm as I remember San Diego being, too.
And humid, too.
Yeah. Here's Will Myers, first baseman, has 24 home runs. Outfield is straight away deep. Myers, a base hit into center field. Pereira will score as that ball hits the runner. Nobody at home plate. And the game is tied at 2. Bader's throw is never going to come to the plate. It hits the runner Solarte, and he comes around to score. And this game tied at 2.
Bader does the right thing right here. Tries to go to third. I think his throw is a little offline, but then it hits the runner. And then it's, what's that old game called when we were a kid? Mousetrap? When everybody's going in every different direction. Holy cow.
When you had Molina going to back up behind third base, he left the home plate spot, the position. That's hit sharply to Martinez. He'll take it himself, steps on the bag. So the base hit into center, that scores 2. And it's a 2-2 game after 1. And it brings in Stephen Piscotty. Watch the drive to the pennant with MLB.tv every night on every device. Visit MLB.tv for details. It's such an odd play to where Michael Wacha was going to back up behind home plate thinking the throw is going there. Throw goes to third, hits the runner. Yachty goes to get the ball along with Wacha, and then home plate left unoccupied. So it's a base hit, an RBI, then an error.
I think the one thing that Yachty sees right here is I think he reads this throw being way offline. I don't know why he was running at that angle, though. But originally, I think that throw from Bader coming in is offline completely. And if it doesn't hit the runner, it ends up in the dugout or all the way down here in the on-deck circle. It's just not a good play all the way around.
And we're tied 2-2. Two-two pitch in the dirt. Also makes you wonder if Bader didn't get a real good grip on that throw. That's one usually it's on a fly to third base from that position at center.
Well, from what I was reading there, I think he was thinking home and then in mid-flight changed his arm angle to try to throw it to third, realizing he probably had a better chance at third and really never squared up his body to throw it to third base.
So a leadoff walk, and it brings in Valera, making his major league debut. Can play the outfield, he can play infield, which is what he's doing tonight, playing second base.
117 games at AAA, hit 314, the 133 hits, 8 homers, 41 RBIs. Doesn't strike out a lot, though. I like 34, only 34 strikeouts.
800 career minor league games over 8 seasons before arriving at this moment. Non-drafted free agent, signed back in 2010 from Venezuela. Little flare down the right field line and out of play. From the 4th of July through the end of the season, he was 12th among all minor leaguers with a .359 average. So certainly earned this call up, and announced today that he was the player of the month in the minor leagues for Memphis, team that finished 41 games above 500 with 21 players, one point or another, making a stop at Memphis and then coming up to the big leagues. High fly ball into right. Caesar the catch. Piscotty not tagging. And back to the bag at first. There's Alex Mejia. He's at third base tonight. He can play second, short, primarily been at third. And there's ball one. Base hit into right field. Piscotty on his way to third. Little hesitation, and in there safely. Mejia advancing to second. I don't know if Steven was trying to deke the right fielder and thinking he was going to stop at second, but he did hesitate. It looked like just a bit. He's got to be at third on that base hit to right.
Looked like he just couldn't make up his mind. I don't know if he was trying to deke him, but a favor done to him by the third baseman, because he was really afraid to let that ball get past him, and he backed up into the grass, or Steven's dead.
Mejia, good base running to wind up at second base. Infield drawn in for Michael Wacha. Now a final Cincinnati over Milwaukee 9-3. So a chance to gain a game on the Brewers. Infield in and the 1-0 pitch. Well, the other thing too, from where he fielded that throw behind third base, he had the chance to put the tag on Piscotty, but also if you see you're not going to get that runner, go after the ball and maybe have a play to get Mejia at second base.
Just the throw was an in-between hop, and I think that's why he backed up just a little bit, but it's just such a tough read is you got to catch that ball in order to get him out.
Safety squeeze, a flip to the plate. Very late break by Piscotty. They run right into an out.
Interesting play here. Steven got a really bad jump, a really late jump. And give a little credit to Will Myers. He came down hard and made a nice play with his glove.
Here's Bader with runners at first and third. The pitch inside. Base hit by Bader to left field. You didn't see much of a lead from Piscotty, and then you saw the late break, and it adds up to an out.
Now, almost looked like he was caught off guard a little bit, which can't be possible.
Deep left field. At the wall. Gone! Harrison Bader. Second hit of the night. This one a 3-run homer. His third home run in the big leagues, and all three have been on this road trip.
Like a little slider that stayed up. Don't mean this in a negative way, but that ball ran right into his barrel. Not the pitch you're looking for if you're the pitcher.
Bader a single, now a home run, a 3-run shot, 5-2 Cardinals, and here's Randall Grichuk.
I feel like you're seeing a different Harrison Bader this time around. I think the last time he was trying to make things happen, trying to hit home runs, trying to do something special. And I think this time he looks a little bit more relaxed, and he's just going out there and playing the game.
Here's the 0-1. One pitch, fights it off on a hop towards second, and Grichuk retired. 0 for 2. Harrison Bader, the base hit to left, scored on the 2-run homer by Jose Martinez, and now with 2 outs, a 3-run shot, and it's 5-2 midway through 2. with a base hit to left and a 3-run homer. He's 2 for 2. He's got the cheat sheet out as Matt Caesar leads it off, then Hedges and Wood, and we check in with Scott Warman.
All right, Dan, thanks. Adam Wainwright came into town here to San Diego to visit his teammates. He told us while here in San Diego that he's actually started, Dan, a throwing program. And his throwing program, while not on the mound, he did throw Sunday at Busch Stadium before coming to San Diego from 90 feet. He's expected to throw again today as he made his way back to St. Louis. And also congratulations to Adam Wainwright. MLB announcing today that he is the Cardinals nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. And Dan, I know you know very well that his charitable foundation helps out so many people.
Great work that he's done. Here's Matt Caesar. Big league impact through fantasy football. Millions of dollars has been raised by Adam Wainwright. That's off the glove of Martinez. And Caesar is aboard. It's a base hit. Austin Hedges hitting .211 with 16 home runs, and he's driven in 50. We noticed before the game our friend Skip Schumacher in uniform with the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, I talked to Skip yesterday, and they said with the firing of their hitting coach that he's going to be in uniform all week, helping their team with the hitting. Just be an extra set of hands-on, and set of eyes for the guys, and working along now a little bit with Mark McGwire.
Valera going out and makes the catch.
It's quite interesting. They haven't really named a new hitting coach. They've just brought in a guy like Skip to help out. Obviously Mark is there, and a few other guys within the organization to help out till the end of the year.
Skip was working in the front office, special assistant to the GM here at the Padres. A couple of young kids. I'm not sure he'd want to be doing this full time. He likes to be home with family. We shall see. Here's Travis Wood, and he can swing the bat. He can swing the bat. Deep left field, the pitcher with one of the longest home runs you'll see. Travis Wood, 2-run shot, and that's his second of the year.
Talk about location all the time, and I guess even if you're the pitcher, can't throw it right down the middle, especially to a guy like Travis Wood. And you said it, Danny. He can hit a little bit. He can hit a lot of it.
Joe Madden actually a handful of times used him as an outfielder with matchups. Face a lefty, go to the outfield, bring a pitcher in, face the righty. That bullpen pitcher would come in and face the righty. Then another lefty come up, bring Wood back on the mound, and also was used at times as a pinch hitter. He can flat out swing the bat. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout of Margot. Second of the night for Michael Wacha.
That might be a split right there. That's a nasty pitch at 90 miles an hour.
That pitch taken high. Suaje struck out back in the first inning looking. Another pitch up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. So the Cardinals have already hit a couple of home runs. 2-run homer by Martinez, 3-run homer by Bader, and now the 2-run homer by Travis Wood, the pitcher. Inside, and it's a walk with 2 outs. Second walk issued by Waka in this game. Brings in Jose Pirela. A lot of pitches getting up here.
A lot of cutters too, I think. Those first 2 pitches to Aswahe looked like he was trying to cut the ball inside and never really came back with anything around the strike zone, and then another one right there.
Two balls and no strikes.
Funny, Travis Wood hits a homer off a fastball, and the next 7 pitches he's only thrown 1 straight fastball. All cutters and changeups. There you go.
2-2. Taken low, 3-2. Sabarte is at the on deck circle. Colorado has opened up a 6-1 lead over the Giants. It's in the top of the 7th. Antonio Cinzentella, the starter for Colorado. 3-2 pitch. Hit out of play. Here's another 3-2 pitch. Soft liner. And the catch made. It's short by Paul DeYoung. brought to you by your local St. Louis area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. And by McDonald's. Cardinals hit a home run. Get a free McDouble or frozen beverage the next day with the McDonald's app. First pitch, a base hit into right for Paul DeYoung. There's our buddy Skip Schumacher.
There he is. Just a couple of weeks ago, he hit a towering home run off of Brad Thompson. Towering.
Sure, Brad is very thankful that you brought that up.
Right off the plane to the field, homer, back on the plane, back to work.
It was, what, a charity game or something?
Alumni charity game,
yeah.
Yes.
Was it really a bomb?
It was a bomb. I couldn't believe he hit it. I was standing in center.
Right center, Martinez again. One hops off the wall. DeYoung held up at third. Jose Martinez, a double to go along with his 2-run homer. I'll tell you what, he is destroying right now left-handed pitching. That's now 19 hits against the lefties. 11 have gone for extra base hits, 5 doubles and 6 home runs against left-handed pitching. There we go.
Yeah. Wear those guys' arms out in the bullpen, trying to get his attention.
Brings in Yadier Molina, 5-4 a score here in the top of the third. Hanging breaking ball by Travis Wood.
Good job by Paul right here, I think, too. He ran hard the whole way until he got stopped. That is textbook running the bases. You run hard until the third base coach stops you. You don't make the decision for you or for anyone if the ball is behind you.
That's pulled foul off the bat of Yadier Molina. Rounded out to third, his first time up. Molina softly to short. Martinez is out at third. Mike Matheny gets the attention. The home plate umpire immediately, the dugout was saying that he was safe. Jose taking a chance. May have run into an out. Regardless, the run does score. That's DeYoung to make it a 6-4 St. Louis lead. And the Cardinals are going to challenge. Throw a little bit wide.
Good slide right there.
Jose stays on the bag. He looks to be safe. Oh,
Definitely
yeah, he's safe.
Not even close. And even DexCast had him safe right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was saying you got to put the earphones on right now.
I wonder if the challenges on the West Coast are faster, these late night games, than other places. And I mean that sincerely, because the games then across the country, many of them are done. So the umpires in New York can focus on the games on the West Coast.
I believe you have a point there, Danny Mac. Good slide, though. What a great job.
How did he stay on the bag? So the Cardinals will have runners at first and third. The RBI number 65 for Molina, and Steven Piscotty will be the batter. Safe.
Sounds like a home game.
There'll be an error on the play. Well, this has not been a textbook major league game. From base running to errors, the home runs allowed. And because of that, already 10 runs scored. It's 6-4 Cardinals. Nobody out. Runners at first and third. The Padres are already with activity in their pen. And a strike to Stephen Piscotty. Walked his first time up. And the 0-1. Little chopper towards third. Foul. 0-2. Rockies enjoyed a 4-run sixth. And now San Francisco has come back with 2 to make it 6-3 in the top of the 7th. It's Robert Stevenson who won for Cincinnati tonight 9-3 over Milwaukee. Zach Davies took the loss. Milwaukee will face Chicago this weekend. Cardinals will have Pittsburgh at Busch Stadium. 0-2 pitch. Here's a 1-2, and it's hit out of play. Outfield is straight away. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Stephen Piscotty. Tapped foul again. Talking with Steven the other day, and he said really going back down to the minor leagues wasn't a bad thing for him, a good thing. He said one of the things he's really trying to work on balance, and we've noticed in a lot of his swings, Jimmy, off balance and when he finishes.
Yeah, and I also noticed right there too, even in that swing, he was able to stay, even though he finished off balance, stay balanced enough to stay back on the off speed pitches, which he wasn't able to do early in the year. You like to see a hitter when he strides for the fastball to actually be able to sit for a split second and react to the breaking ball and stay in that middle area with your body. Even though your foot's starting to hit the ground, you haven't shifted your weight forward yet, and you're able to stay back on breaking ball and change up and still be able to put a good swing on it.
Piscotty, base hit into center. Martinez will score. And it's 7-4 St. Louis, still nobody out. You just wonder, will Andy Green have to go to his pen here early on? And he will. That'll be it for Travis Wood. Came over from Kansas City. Had signed a 2-year deal prior to this year. That's it for Wood. Hit a 2-run homer, but has allowed a bunch of runs to score. Cardinals have a 7-4 lead and still going here at the top of the 3rd. Faces a righty in this spot. Don't forget, download the games, Fox Sports Go. Anytime, anywhere you can see Cardinals baseball. Breivik Valera, the second baseman tonight, flied to right first time up, his major league debut. Miguel Diaz does have 3 starts under his belt, 24 games, a record of 1-1, the high ERA. Runners at first and second, and still nobody out for the Cardinals here in the top of the third.
A little different perspective here. You got a righty, lefty. Now you're going to see 96 versus 88, 87. Make an adjustment as a hitter.
And a strike. Breivik Valera, 800 career minor league games, and gets the call up in a pennant race for the Cardinals. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Fastball 65% of the time, mid to high 90s. Usually you think about early in the game, it's a right-handed lineup to face a left-handed pitcher. All of a sudden things get jumbled a bit as Valera sends a fly ball into center field, and the catch is made by Margot. Here's Alex Mejia. Base hit to right, scored a run in the second inning. Andy Green, and you can see your starter not doing well, clearly. 7 hits, did not record an out in the third. Roster's expanded. You can go to that bullpen as early as you want and still feel covered. You should. That pitch taken high.
It's not as much the 7 hits too. It's the ball up in the zone, and everything was getting hit hard. So that sometimes is not going to get better. You give up hits is one thing. To give up those kind of hits, and like you said, you see the elevation of the fastball. Yeah, you got to do something.
There's a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Talking with Mark McGuire the other day, he said the highest compliment I can give about Andy Green is to compare him to Tony La Russa. He said he's the closest thing to Tony that I've seen. He said he's an outstanding handler of personnel, strategy. You got to be a little bit of everything if you're the manager. You're the face of a franchise, dealing with the media, talking to your players, understanding who's hot, who's good, who can go, who needs a break.
All the different personalities nowadays. It's a different game. Younger generation is different. Got to be a little bit more delicate than he used to be.
And a strike to the 2012 Pac-12 Player of the Year at Arizona, Alex Mejia. Two and 2 the count. Fights it off and fouled back.
Pretty consistent right there. Up and a little bit inside.
Fights it off again.
One might use the word grouping of pitches.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Mejia. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 97 on that pitch. Krispy Kreme doesn't deal. Cardinals get 9 hits tonight. You're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow. Receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $3.99. And stop by one of the 5 St. Louis area Krispy Kreme locations or locations in Bloomington or Springfield, Illinois for this sensational deal. Michael Wacha, the safety squeeze when he was up. Piscotty thrown out at the plate by Myers, flipped it out of his glove. Came around to score on the 3-run homer by Harrison Bader. And the 0-1 pitch to Michael. 0-2. What are you laughing about?
Those foul balls are coming in hot. I'm glad they're not coming straight back, because I'm ducking.
I was very disappointed in you with 8 gold gloves and should be able to catch anything.
I left my glove at home.
Well, you should be able to do it. Outfield really shallow here for Michael Wacha. Ball in the gap, and Piscotty would score easily from first base.
Will Myers way off the baseline. Piscotty has plenty of room over there to get a good secondary lead.
Did not go. And it's 2-2. Hear that glove popping even up here.
I think if I was a tall, lanky right-handed pitcher in the batter's box right now is not where I'd want to be. 97 miles an hour. It's got to seem like 110.
Molina is running, and the pitch is swung on and missed. A couple of strikeouts. Cardinals knock out Travis Wood. They lead 7-4. The bottom of the 3rd. Look at Carlos Martinez. Terrific in game 1. Lynn, Weaver, Martinez, the BJC difference makers the last 3 games. Pretty simple, Jimmy. You get good starting pitching, you have a chance to win.
Yeah, those guys have been outstanding. You see all 3 of those guys, and especially yesterday we saw fresh in our mind 9 innings of just spectacular pitching.
Young Ervis Solarte will lead it off, followed by Myers and Spangenberg. Need to remind that youngster that's not ice cream.
Spitball.
Gaylord Perry would be proud. Solarte is really an interesting story. It took a long time to get to the major leagues. So much so that his uncle, Roger Cedeno, your former teammate with the Cardinals, had to buy him a house. Wasn't making any money. A wife and 3 kids. And Solarte, his wife, passed away. Had cancer, passed away, and he did something that's really not conventional with many pro athletes. He signed an agreement with Fantex, a sort of athlete stock exchange, which paid Solarte $3.15 million up front in exchange for 11% of his future earnings. And he felt he needed to do that because of the insecurity of just getting to the big leagues. Hadn't made a lot of money, plus he had 3 daughters. And he was rewarded last year with a contract, an extension worth around $20 million. And club options for 2019 and 2020. But he wanted the money up front because he wanted to take care of his family.
It's one heck of a story.
Yeah.
Good for him.
A swing and a miss and a good changeup. Strikeout from Michael Wacha, his 3rd of the night.
Here's that good changeup right here. Tough to see it from the hitter's perspective when it doesn't have any kind of hump coming out of the hand. It's just straight down. Looks just like a fastball.
Just to finish the thought on Solarte, he's got family that help him out when he's on the road and trying to be a big league player, but also that, you know, the kids will come out and he'll tweet out photos of them being at the zoo or, you know, various places, but trying to be a big part of their lives, obviously. But really sad story that his wife passed away and 3 young little girls. But great that he gets the extension and the security for the rest of his life.
It's amazing.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Will Myers. Breaking ball and a beauty. 1-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned before that Myers won the Rookie of the Year while having played in only 88 games. The only other player to win that under 100 games was Ryan Howard. So the point being that he made such an impact in 88 games and he still wins the Rookie of the Year. So basically just over half a season.
That's quite an impact. Either that or no one else played that year. I'm kidding. That is quite an impact, though.
Strikeout of Myers. Back-to-back Ks for Michael Wacha. Rally Cat Appreciation Day. That's right. Rally Cat Appreciation Day coming up Sunday, September 10th. It's presented by Purina. Purchase of a special theme ticket. Fans receive an exclusive Rally Cat t-shirt. Tickets at cardinals.com/theme. Bunted back to Michael Wacha, and Spangenberg is out. We're going to show Yadier Molina and his reaction on that play when we come back. It's really caught my eye watching Molina. And here's Bader and the great run that he's been on. San Francisco and what he's done here in San Diego. Had the home run off of Madison Bumgarner. And then earlier tonight, a 3-run homer back in the 2nd inning. So now he gets the right-handed Diaz, hard thrower. But really odd to see what Molina did there with the bunt on a pitch that was up, and he just spun away from it thinking, uh-oh, foul ball, here it comes.
I don't know if what we saw was the bat being in the way of the ball.
Diving stop. Wow, what a play. Tremendous play, Carlos Isuaje.
It's a really nice play here. You can see he knows that Bader's running. He jumps up as quick as he can. He just gets him by a step.
Brings in Randall Grichuk. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Take a look at this reaction from Yadier Molina.
I think he definitely put the bat right in his eyes. Something you don't see every day right there.
Just hear Jerry Coleman saying that play at second base. Hang a star on that one. Longtime broadcaster, major leaguer, war hero. Amazing man. Two and one to count.
Take a look at this right here. That's what he was seeing. Scary thing about that is it's not like he was probably blocking the ball the whole time, but if you lose the ball for a split second, it is not a good feeling.
Out of play. Jerry Coleman served as Marine Corps pilot, World War II, the Korean War, multiple combat missions, and a hero. Hang a star on that one. It's Jerry Coleman. Broken bat carries all the way out to center. That baseball is down, and a 1-out single. The bat carried nearly to the outfield grass. The ball did. And the batter is Paul DeYoung. And I bring that up with such a military presence in the San Diego area. Here's Paul DeYoung, who is 1 for 2, lined out to right, and a single to right. 21 home runs for the rookie shortstop. Jimmy's got the stopwatch out. He's going to get a time on this pitcher and let us know if Cardinals want to be running. He didn't know he was going to get a stopwatch out, but I'm making him. Breaking pitch, strike one.
Just an average time, 1.39 with a breaking ball, so the fastball will be a little bit more.
And ideally, what time do you want to steal?
I think you got to be above 1.3. So, like I said, being only 1.39 with the breaking ball, you have to get a good jump if he's throwing a fastball. It's when you hear guys talk about picking out a count for an off-speed pitch.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Paul DeYoung. Foul ball. 0-2. mentioned that we talked to Mark McGwire before the game, and he said the best part, at least one of the best parts of going into the Cardinals Hall of Fame, was the fact that his kids really didn't know what he had accomplished in the game of baseball. And so for them to see the video and the adoration and the love that he got from the fans, he said that was very, very important to him personally. He said Tim McCarver was great to him going into the Hall of Fame as well. Here's an 0-2 pitch to DeYoung. Up and in. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Instead, a check on Randal Grichuk. Why not run? Push it a little bit. 3-run lead. DeYoung puts one in the gap. It becomes an 8-4 Cardinal lead. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And he got him. Colorado leading San Francisco 7-3. That's in the top of the 8th. Speaking of Mark McGwire, Kubota power stats. Giancarlo Stanton with 53 home runs. Then Aaron Judge with 38. Davis, Gallo, and Smoke all with 37. Home run leaders in Major League Baseball. Here's Jose Martinez, a 2-run homer back in the first, a double off the wall, a run scored in the third. Grichuk is running, throw down to second, not in time, ball gets away. Grichuk on his way to third. Six steals this year for Grichuk.
Maybe he heard you.
Push it.
Well, like you said, push it. Look what happens. If he goes 4 pitches ago, he's at third with 1 out.
And my point, too, with the previous at bat is that DeYoung was going to see a breaking pitch. 2 strikes. Might strike out, which he does his fair share, but with the times that you gave, got a good shot with Grichuk to steal that bag. Uh-oh, he tore up the back of his pant leg. Well, buddy Mark Wall should be busy tonight. Helps run the clubhouse for the Cardinals. Saw it Sunday. Madison Bumgarner hit this home run. We've seen Travis Wood, a pitcher, hit a home run. This is what's interesting. Bumgarner, last 172 at bats, he has 10 home runs. Aaron Judge, last 172 with 8. He's cooled off in the second half for the Yankees. Breaking ball, tapped foul.
Tell you what, there's somebody every year comes out of that home run derby at the All-Star break. Takes a little toll on that swing.
You did it, right?
Blew my shoulder out.
Did you really?
Over swinging.
By the way, the bat boy with another terrific play on that foul ball. He had an outstanding play yesterday. Carlos Martinez giving him a standing ovation moments ago. 2-2 pitch. Whacked foul and out of play. See a very confident hitter right now in Jose Martinez.
Swinging the bat well tonight. And ball jumping off his bat. I feel like the ball is getting harder during the course of the season, or the microphones are getting a lot better. Some loud contact.
The 2-2 pitch. And Grichuk thought about it, but back to the bag at third. That's a nice play by Hedges.
It's a good job by Grichuk, too. Super aggressive. And stop and come back.
Three-two pitch. Wherever you may be, we hope you're enjoying Cardinals baseball tonight, staying up late with us in the Midwest, maybe the East Coast. Cardinal fans everywhere. Three and two the count. We're in the top of the fourth. 7-4 St. Louis. Grichuk, your runner at third. Martinez, a ball in the dirt. And the question is, did he go? They say no. No one at the plate. Now Grichuk hung up. He's in a rundown. And eventually tagged out. So they appealed. They said he did not go. Look at Paul DeYoung with more on Paul. Let's check in with Scott Warman.
All right, Dan, thanks. You know, Paul DeYoung is now playing in his 64th game professionally at the shortstop position. Remember, it was right around this time last year when the organization came to Paul and asked him to change positions. He was drafted as a third baseman, played that position throughout the minor league career and his college career at Illinois State at third base, and then made the transition. Now, he told me today in a conversation that he had played shortstop before his collegiate career, but he said, Dan, one of the highlights so far of making the transition and learning to play the shortstop position is the to learn from the likes of Jose Oquendo and the Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith, Danny.
What a thrill, there's no doubt. Valera made that play close. Infield hit by Matt Caesar. Little issue getting it out of the glove, and that cost him by maybe a half a step. So the hit for Caesar, and it brings in Austin Hedges. And there's a strike. 7-4 I score. Hedges popped out to Valera first time up. He's 0 for 1. And a double play ball. DeYoung, Valera, Martinez, double play.
It's a nice little pick-me-up right there. The ground ball double play.
Brings in Diaz, and now you don't have to deal with Travis Wood, who hit a 2-run homer back in the second inning. 2 outs and nobody on. Fastball and a strike, and there's Molina again turning his head with a right-handed batter at the plate. 0-1. It's worth repeating, as you've noted, it's by design. This is something that he wants to do.
Yeah, I think he's trying to keep the ball from hitting him straight in the face mask. Maybe just turning a little bit to get a little bit of a glancing blow. Like, I think he feels that the ball that hits you right in the gray area right there in the front of the mask is really doing damage to him.
Up the middle, Waka steps in, throws, and makes the play. Infield hit, erased with the double play. Diaz grounds back to Waka. Cleveland, a 10.5 game lead now over Minnesota, 13 in front of Kansas City, Detroit, and Chicago. There, Justin Verlander made his Astros debut. What a big pickup that is for Houston. And here's Yadier Molina. Molina, Piscotty, and Valera. Yadi with an RBI and a fielder's choice, ground out back into third. That's pulled foul. Kia in the driver's seat. Ranks among major league catchers. First in hits, total bases, third extra base hit, second in RBI. Don't think he's slowing down.
Not a bad defensive catcher either, by the way.
Talk about it a lot. The fact that he answers the bell every single day is what is so impressive about one of the most demanding positions in sports, and certainly demanding in the month of September.
Get a nice little break coming to the West Coast, except for it was a little hotter in San Francisco than expected.
Colorado's lead now 7-5 in the top of the 8th. 2-2 our score, or rather 2-2 the count, 7-4 our score. And the next two, Yadier Molina. In the dirt. Fouled back.
They're getting closer, Danny. I can feel it.
That was just to the right of us, and tell you what, we may get one before the 4 games are through. Strikeout. The 3rd inning of work for Diaz. He struck out 4. The Chevy Fox Tracks. The Padres will go with a 6-man rotation from here on out. Clayton Richard has now been given the assignment, the finale of this series. Cardinals have looked at a 6-man rotation. They've also looked at what could be the benefits of a 4-man rotation. Both. Justin Verlander, by the way, making his debut tonight against Seattle. 1-1 the score there, and that's in the 4th inning. Houston and the Mariners. Pitchers are such creatures of habit to go every 5th day. Guy misses a start. A lot of times they'll tell you they just don't feel right next time out. And you think about it, you report to spring training and you build up the arm strength. Middle of February, you're pitching every 5th day on the bump.
It's crazy if you think about it. You would ask a guy who's been pitching for 6 to 7 months if they wanted an extra day, and they would probably tell you no. Just an extra day of rest. A lot of guys feel like they get a little too much rest and not as sharp, or try to overthrow, and then you lose your control a little bit.
Lose your sync on a pitch. You can become straighter when you're stronger sometimes.
Sometimes lose your mind sitting on the bench an extra day.
Yeah. And a walk to Piscotty. State Farm perfect pair looking at the minor leagues. Austin Gomber, 6 starts, 5-0. He's the minor league pitcher of the month for August. And Breivik Valera now with the big club, 346, 5 home runs. He comes in swinging that hot bat as he drove in 18. Valera in his debut is 0 for 2. Piscotty running, hit and run on, throw down to second, and he is out. See there with the hit and run. Piscotty looking in and slight hesitation, and with that thrown out at second base. Rookie at the plate, major league debut. You force him to swing.
Well, he's a guy that makes a lot of contact, and I think that that's a good idea with the hit and run with a guy who's known to make contact. But you also got to remember there's a guy on the mound who's throwing 97 with a bunch of movement, and sometimes that's a little tough too.
Cardinals have run into a number of outs, and we're only in the 5th inning. Never know if you might need that rally cat. Here's a 1-2. Slowly hit up the first base line and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's David Bell on the right, Mike Matheny on the left. Before it's all said and done, David Bell will manage somewhere. Very highly respected man in the game of baseball.
Every time I'm down in the locker room, he is working on something.
2-2. Shallow left. Shortstop takes it. So Marte puts it away. Midway through 5, it's 7-4. Cardinals Care has established the Hurricane Harvey Children's Relief Fund to help children whose lives have been forever changed. Join the Cardinals. Help make a difference in a donation. youcaring.com/CardinalsCare. Ground ball left side. Mejia makes the play. T-Mobile Unlimited baseball break. Justin Verlander tonight at Seattle. His debut with Houston. 4 innings, 4 hits, a run, 1-1 top of 5. And Cubs considering skipping the next start for Jake Arrieta. Had an MRI in his right hamstring today. Fouled back. We just hope that the base running miscues of the Cardinals, if you're a fan of St. Louis, does not come back to haunt them. They've run into multiple outs tonight. There's a base hit into right field. Suaje on base for the second time. A walk, and now that base hit to right. Irela has walked and scored and also popped out to short.
You know, it's not in this game necessarily only that's a 3-run lead. Will the base running mistakes hurt you? But all year long they hurt you and cost you a game here and a game there, even when you don't expect it to. One more reason why you're chasing someone in the wild card.
Base hit into right field. 2 hops to Piscotty. Fires to third, and oh, he got him! What a throw! Stephen Piscotty, a bullet from right field. Had to be perfect, and it was.
It's a nice throw by Stephen right there, right on the money. Everybody does what they're supposed to do. Sometimes you're out, sometimes you're safe, and not a great turn right there, but a great throw and a great tag by Mejia. And the tag's as impressive as the throw. He caught the ball and went straight down.
Quick. Piscotty, very good arm and right, shows it off at a big out, 2 away. Young Ervis Solarte, base hit to center, run scored, and also struck out. First pitch popped up. Martinez makes the catch. It's a big pick-me-up type of play there by Stephen Piscotty after back-to-back hits. Game 2 of the 4-game set, and the young players have stepped up in a big way. Jose Martinez, Harrison Bader, a couple of home runs hit by the Cardinals. The pitching of Michael Wacha as the St. Louis Cardinals try to make it 2 wins in a row over the Padres. Mejia, Michael Wacha, Harrison Bader here in the top of the 6th. Fastball and a strike. Oh, 1 pitch. Now 0-2. Oh, 2. Fastball missed. Into right, sinking, and the catch is made. A fine play by Matt Caesar.
That is a fine play by Matt Caesar right there. Really good angle from up here, and you can see him kind of go after that ball and then realize he really started to sink a little bit. See this next step to his left, and it's a little dive at the end. You missed that, might be a triple.
Michael Wacha. Diaz has come in and done a nice job out of the pen. Travis Wood pitching into the 3rd and then knocked out of the game. Nobody out. Here's a 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes.
Miguel Diaz doing a nice job of just throwing fastballs, middle away, little run. Got a good breaking ball, but 95, 96 all day long, right out there over the plate.
Jose Ramirez with 2 home runs. Indians 13 straight wins. Terry Francona has that rolling. 3-1 pitch. 3-2. And it's a 1-out walk to the pitcher, Michael Wacha. Get ready to start your day with First Things First weekday mornings on FS1. Hosts Chris Carter and Nick Wright. They kick off the day with the latest in sports. First Things First. That's 5:30 on FS1. Here's Bader, robbed last time up, back in the 4th. Has a 3-run homer and a base hit to left. One pitch. Bader has made the adjustment, at least initially, to the slider. Been much better with that pitch.
Well, like I said, I think when he first came up, he was really gung-ho to do something big. He was swinging hard. He's leaning back, trying to hit everything up in the air. He's made a little bit of an adjustment, not trying to do too much, and sometimes that's all it takes.
There was that slider there, and it's 1-2. Tony Gwynn, Ozzie Smith. A couple of Hall of Fame jerseys. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Fastball up and away at 97. No activity in either bullpen. 7-4 our score. Cardinals with 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 more in the third. They've out hit the Padres 8-7 in this game. The 2-2 pitch to Bader. Struck him out. Backed up on him. That's 5 strikeouts for Diaz. You show the fastball up and away, and then you get that breaking pitch in.
He threw that fastball at the pitch before. I think he overthrew it on purpose to see if he could throw it by him or waste it, knowing that he had a slider to go to the next pitch, and backed up on him a little bit, but stayed inside where he could do nothing with it. Bader could do nothing with it.
Now Randall Grichuk. Fastball and a strike. They're in the bottom of the 8th. Colorado trying to hold on against the Giants. It's 8-6. Mentioned earlier, Cincinnati defeated Milwaukee 9-3. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled back and a good cut. 0-2 the count.
But you'd like to have that one back.
Yeah, shaking his head a little bit.
There hasn't been too many rollers up there off of Diaz. Comes the fastball up again.
And he struck him out. 2 in the inning. 6 in the game for Diaz. It's 7-4. The quarter zip pullover is coming up Saturday, September 9th. Cardinals take on the Pirates. Make sure you get that pullover. September 9th, Cardinals.com/promotions. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 7-4 our score. Boy, it's fun to come to the ballpark and still be talking about a team that has a chance to get into postseason play. Seeing the youth, the energy that's brought by the young players every night. Cardinals have a shot to get in. We're still talking about the playoffs. And we're approaching the middle of September. That's all you ask for, that chance to compete.
You know, the funny thing is, this team is probably, I don't know if it's underachieved, but has not played up to St. Louis Cardinals standards all year. Not being critical, but the truth. And crazy what tells you how this game works, and these young kids keep battling. And like you said, just a few games out of making it to the playoffs. You never know what's going to happen. I know a lot of people have been disappointed, haven't been great all year, didn't get a big trade. That's besides the point. They know they have a talented team. It just goes to show you, when guys of this caliber can get together and play better baseball, how much better of a team they can be.
We had a nice conversation with Chris Carpenter today at the team hotel, and he said he's starting to like the vibe of this team.
Well, I think when you get to hang around with some of the guys and you're just not watching them on TV, it's even for me going downstairs once in a while to visit, to just be I'm not even going to say a mentor, but a friend for some of these guys that have been around, just like Ozzie and Willie, and even having Bob Gibson around is just so awesome to be able to go to them outside of the coaching staff and just go to someone else. Because when you're a player, different people get to you differently, and certain things might come out of your coach's or manager's mouth that don't come out, or they're not taken the same way as if someone else tells you something just a little bit differently in the way they explain something, and it might kind of resonate with you a little bit better, and you just never know the knowledge you're going to get from guys hanging around the field.
2-2 on Will Myers.
Learned a lot of things from a lot of players in my career. A lot of things, even the littlest thing, like Jim Abbott telling me, listen, when you're in the lineup, I don't care how you feel, you're dangerous and the other team's worried. Just that made me want to go play every day, and gave me a lift to want to be out there and get healthy and get to the ballpark early and stay in the lineup. And just those little things, simple things like that, can change your whole career.
3-2, he struck him out. 97. And that's 5 tonight for Michael Walkup. I mean this as a major compliment to you. I've had a number of players that have said Jim Edmonds was the guy that pulled me aside and kept me going and gave me faith in this game. You made a point to go to young players, guys that were trying to take your job, and say, hey, we're on the same team. I'm trying to help you out. This is what I see.
I think that's something that affected me when I was younger. Was I was always worried about the competition and I was going to lose out. And then I realized that I was good enough to play, and I knew that I was going to work harder defensively than anyone did, and offensively it would just take care of itself. So I wanted everyone else to get the knowledge that I learned and pass it on down. And even for pitchers, you know, I would see something going on. I remember one time in the World Series, Game 1, we were throwing. They were starting to sit on the changeup of Reyes. And I told Yachty, and I told him, I said, hey, they're starting to sit on the changeup, heads up. And then he started throwing fastballs, and then he started mowing guys down, and they just looked at me like, what are you know, like, why are you watching that in the middle of a World Series? But I'm paying attention. And so I love helping the younger guys, because like I said, I think sometimes guys get afraid to come to the manager, the hitting coach, knowing that it's going to get back to someone and they might get benched. So I always love being around that kind of atmosphere with players. And I think especially, like I said, I learned so much from people just at dinner, away from the field when it got real and nothing was on the line. You learn so much just how everyone else does it. Not everyone does it the same, but it has to get done in order to be a good team.
Corey Spangenberg at the plate, 3-2 with 1 out, nobody on. Walker has struck out 5, and he has walked 2 in this game, and now 3. Did Carpenter come to you much and say, hey, am I tipping pitches? What are you seeing from me?
Carpenter was really good about letting people know that he was confident in his abilities. He wasn't going to ask me if I was tipping or he was tipping, but he would say, hey, keep an eye on me, or you see anything. It wasn't a big deal. But like I said, playing with guys like that and knowing how hard he worked made you want to go out there that day he was pitching. And what really your job was to do was catch his mistakes, but also catch the pitches that he threw, knowing that he was making good pitches and he should be getting outs with them.
This is Matt Caesar at the plate. Grounded into 2 double plays so far this year. The Cardinals turned a double play back in the 4th off the bat of Austin Hedges.
Thing for me, Danny, is why I think that that's so important for you older guys, especially like a Carpenter or myself, whatever. I learned a lot of stuff from Jim Abbott, Ricky Henderson, Cecil Fielder, Mark McGuire, a guy like that guy right there. All these older guys that kind of came through at the very ends of their career, and that's kind of what they did. They taught. And so you better listen. And each one of those guys had a different way, different philosophy, a different language that sometimes made more sense than others. And it just really, I think it benefits a lot of the players.
How good was Ricky Henderson?
It was amazing. What was crazy about him was you just thought he was so talented. He just went out on the field and ran. He would sit down there. If he made the first out of the game, he would go right to the end of the bench, and the first person who got on base, he would time the pitcher from the end of our bench. So the next time he got on, he already knew what his move was like, how his timing was, how long he held the ball. I was watching him one day and I said, "Do you always do this?" He said, "Since the first day I got to the big leagues."
Wow.
So it's not an accident. He stole all those bases.
Runner goes on a 2-1. Yachty from his knees, and the ball scoots away. Probably the only way that Molina could have gotten him was throwing from his knees, a la former Padre Benito Santiago.
Tell you what, that just barely late getting there, but pretty close with the tag and a catch. This might be super close.
Might have been out.
Yep.
So 2-2 the count. Kept in front by Molina.
Ball hit him in the bicep. You know who else I learned a lot about baseball with? Jose Oquendo. Because not always you see this ball right here hit Yachty, I believe, right in the bicep. And that's going to have some seams on that bicep tomorrow. He just did so much with the infielders, and I couldn't help but get close to them and listen, because I just wanted to understand what his philosophy was. So maybe one day I have to teach it or help my son, or just the knowledge of the game in general was amazing to listen to him.
3-2 is hit to short, charging to Young, and he makes the play. I don't think, and this is no disrespect to the coaches that are here, they're putting in the work, but the Cardinals miss Jose Oquendo. They miss him.
Well, I mean, the thing that people don't realize is he was one of those guys that was above and beyond a coach. He was a mentor to the Latin players. He was a friend. He was a father figure for some of those younger guys. But he taught me things that I had no idea existed in the infield. Even for like just the young players, about learning how to kind of just take a little half step around the ball to work your way towards first base, to get some momentum, to take a little bit of pressure off of your arm, where you're not catching the ball flat-footed and then have to move left once you have the ball, where you develop this little bit of it's almost like rounding first base, a little jog step around the ball to get yourself going towards first. I had no idea. That blew me away. I learned so much from him.
Austin Hedges at the plate. Pitcher's spot is due up after that. Depending what happens here, may see a pinch hitter. It's Hector Sanchez, a switch hitter that homered in the series in St. Louis. He's at the on-deck circle. Another changeup, 1-2. Cardinals also with activity in their pen. Pitch count at 88 for Waka. Right around this time And the Cardinals have been very careful with him, right around 90, 95 pitches, so Bowman starts to throw. And the 1-2 pitch. Trying to squeeze one more out of Michael Wacha. Fastball could have been his final pitch of the night. If it is, 97, painted with a strikeout for Wacha. The Kiss statue for the U.S. Midway here in San Diego. The infamous embrace, sailor and a nurse, iconic image, the end of World War II. The military presence, you can feel it here. You come to San Diego. Buddy Bowman takes over, the lefty for the San Diego Padres. Here's Paul DeYoung. And that's ball one. The Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Now a final. Colorado defeats San Francisco 9-6. Two balls and a strike on the shortstop, Paul DeYoung. 1 for 3 tonight. That's fouled back.
That was right here. I had it.
There was no screen, Jimmy, but there are in the big leagues and most ballparks that might have found its way back to our booth.
That was right at us. I saw your cat-like reflexes.
Quick. 2-2. Popped up behind home plate. And into the upper deck. The fans ooh and ah here at Petco. Low strike on DeYoung. was a tire service replay.
It's a tough pitch right there. It's a good job laying off it. I thought, was hoping it was going to end up being a little low, which I think it might have been.
Martinez looks at a ball. Back in the first inning, Jose Martinez with a 2-run homer. He also doubled off the wall in right. First 2 plate appearances and has drawn a walk. This lefty is the 3rd pitcher used. 2-0 the count. Our good friend Ryan Franklin will be in St. Louis this weekend, signing autographs. He works in the front office for John Mozeliak. One of my all-time favorites. It's fouled back. You talk about a guy with some guts. The back end of games. Old school Ryan Franklin.
What a treat that is going to be.
I'm going to try to get him in the booth with us.
You should.
Two-one pitch. Hammered out to left field. Long one off the bat of Martinez. Wow! That got out in a blink of an eye. His 2nd home run of the night.
You see this right here. I think Martinez does so well as he gets on top of the high fastball. Some backspin right here and into the second deck and down the hallway.
Cardinals' 3rd home run. And because of that one, Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. He is blistering left-handed pitching. Molina is out number 2. I'm sure one of the things we'll talk about with Ryan Franklin, though, was back in 2009, the All-Star game in St. Louis, and he made the All-Star team. What a thrill that was. Eight to 4 Cardinals. There are a number of former players working in the front office, whether it be roving special assistant to John Mozeliak, Willie McGee, Ryan Franklin, Jason Isringhausen, Chris Carpenter pops in from time to time. As you talked about, guys that had very good careers and have a lot to offer to young players. Three and one on Piscotty. High strike. 3-2. And that's well hit. Center field. At the wall. And caught.
That is the dead zone, my friend.
Yeah. Martinez, a couple of home runs. One to right center, and this laser to left. together pet adoption days at the ballpark on September 13th and 25th. Head to Ford Plaza prior to the games to meet adoptable furry friends from the APA and the Belleville Area Humane Society. Get your tickets at Cardinals.com. Two home runs for Jose Martinez. And Matt Bowman in the game in relief of Michael Walkup. Gave the Cardinals 6 innings tonight. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Back to Bowman. And Eric Ibar is the first out here in the home half of the 7th. Chevy called to the pen to the often used Matt Bowman.
Matt Bowman showed why right there. He's got that nasty sinker. Just a lot of games this year. Sinker, sinker, sinker. Why guys keep trying to pull it, I have no idea.
Guy like this, how would you try to approach and hit him?
Well, I think the thing for me is I got off easy being a left-handed hitter. Really have to just force your way up the middle and the other way. Let the ball get deep. As a right-handed hitter, you can't do that as much. You have to. I've had Eduardo Perez's approach where he would look out over the plate and try to yank everything knowing that it was running in. And then other guys try to stay up the middle and not swing at the fastball inside. So, like I said, I was very fortunate to be on the left-hand side of the plate and made it a lot easier against guys like this. But keep him on the plate. You know he's going to throw a sinker. You can't chase the sinker that runs in off the plate under your hands because it's unhittable. You pull it foul or pull it off your shin.
1 ball and 1 strike on Manuel Margot. 0 for 3 tonight. Top of the lineup here for the Padres. 8-4 our score. That's one way to get ready, and Matt Bowman did that in Pittsburgh.
Just hope he didn't run into the wall on the other side.
A great shot that our guys got. 2-1 pitch. So it's been a really good year on the mound, and he has that to add to his resume.
Maybe next year he'll be in the sausage race.
You never know. Two-two. Very nice play made by a fan. Casual, too. And he gives it to the little kid. I love it, and he's got a Cardinals shirt on. Sign that guy up. No big deal. I got it. Yep. Doesn't give it to...
Did not spill his beer.
His lady friend, and gives it
to
the little
Padres
kid.
Fan.
2-2 pitch. Struck him out.
That's the sinker we're talking about right there, Danny. That pitch right there is not hittable, and you gotta try to lay off of it.
Boeing teaming up with the Cardinals to bring fans a great ticket deal. You can purchase tickets for just $6 each when the Cardinals take on the Reds. September 12th through the 14th. Get your $6 tickets at Cardinals.com/Boeing. That young fan is beaming with his new souvenir. I mean, he is fired up down there. Now go back to the task at hand, and that's pounding ice cream and cotton candy. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That rolls foul. You can see Yachty made sure to see the batter run out of the batter's box. Suaje, if he didn't, the English on that ball may roll fair.
We heard somebody out of the Padres dugout yell, "Run." Just never know where that ball is going to bounce when it's spinning like that.
A ball and a strike. 1-2 the count with 2 outs and nobody on. And the 1-2 pitch. You can see where a lefty, it's kind of like with Greg Maddux, and by no means am I saying Matt Bowman is Greg Maddux, but the pitch with a left-handed batter that starts out at a hitter's hip and then tails back in. He's got that movement right now.
Yeah, it's not fun. And you know what? To be successful against lefties, you have to have that. You have to scare a lefty to think that you can come inside to him too, because if you just go away, the hitter can let the ball get deeper in the box, and then all of a sudden the slider is not so dangerous because you're seeing it longer.
Justin Verlander, really the big story tonight for the Astros. Well, the Astros are being no hit right now. Yet a 1-1 game. 2-2. Get out of play.
This guy remind you of Randy Wynn at all? Watch the way he sets up.
Randy Wynn.
A lot of movement.
Played a little bit for the Cardinals. Good player in San Francisco and Tampa Bay. Open stance like Randy had.
Watch right here. Not so much right here, but right as he's starting to go towards contact. Gets that bat wrapped way over his head. Never thought he was ever going to get to a fastball, and he always did.
Boy, look at that movement.
Good pitch, just missed. And that's the pitch I'm talking about. Now, as a left-handed hitter, you think, "Who? If he throws that ball again, I can't get to that. I got to speed up a little bit."
Inside corner, struck him out. The pitch that we're talking about. Left-handed batter gives up on that pitch. At your hip, over the plate. We head to the 8th. Padres go to Carter Capps. A couple of years ago, he was vying to be the closer with the Marlins. And you'll notice with him, it's a odd delivery. He and John Gant of the Cardinals, both with unique deliveries to the plate, where he's really basically jumping at the hitter in the back foot. It starts on the rubber, doesn't finish there. Not many pitchers have that happen. However, the ball many times still in his hand as he's off the rubber, jumping towards the plate. He's got a good live arm, too. 93 on that pitch. Not nearly as pronounced, this delivery, as it was a few years ago. A lot of teams would send tape into Major League Baseball offices to see if this was indeed a legal delivery. And Valera is retired in his Major League debut, 0 for 4. See, I think John Gant is actually showing the relievers, yeah, that's what he does. He steps, he's on the front leg, the left leg for a right-hander, and then releases the ball. A lot of teams also called Major League Baseball about Gant, and the ruling is this, is that if your delivery is similar time and time again, and the deception isn't varied every other pitch, you can do this. You can have this type of delivery.
Keep it the same all the time, like you said, and must be doing something right, because if people are calling to complain, then you're not getting beat up.
Really, it's the back leg. It's really unique with this, too. So that's a good half foot. Here's Alex Mejia. It's that out of play. Cardinals, boy, it's rare to come to San Diego and hit home runs, period, but yet the Cardinals have hit tonight 3 of them, with 2 off the bat of Jose Martinez. Good slider. Strikeout of Mejia, and it brings in Voit. So 2 outs, nobody on. Luke Voit at the plate. And ball 1. May remember the delivery of Jordan Walden. Probably hard for you to remember because he was hurt most of the time. He came over with the Shelby Miller deal with Jason Hayward from Atlanta. And the Cardinals thought they had themselves a pretty good setup man, but he just never could get healthy. He also had a unique delivery similar to this.
Not only, like you said, he's jumping at you, but now you're starting to see 95, 96.
2-0 pitch. Voit rips it out to left field. Oh, and the catch in left. Pereira. Outstanding play. Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends, and by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals, and by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. It always happens. You make a great catch, you lead off the next inning. Chevy called to the pen. Here's Brett Cecil. Jose Pereira walked and scored, also singled, and there's a strike. 8-4 our score here in the bottom of the 8th.
See Brett Cecil with a lot of work too. Couple days rest.
One and two the count. Popped up to the right side. Jose Martinez giving it a look, and it's out of play. To the massive humanity, that young man catches that ball. Ripped fair into the left field corner. Where games are so important late, the up and down year that it's been for Cecil, I would think Mike Matheny has got to have a short leash, number one, and probably somebody up just in case. You can't let it unravel quickly.
You can't afford to lose these games or even let teams back in. Build momentum for tomorrow.
There's ball one. So Marte, the switch hitter, out of play. Ground ball. Nice play, Mejia. Runner stays put at second. Known for his glove, and this is why, and also the arm.
Nice play right there, and he fired it over to first base just to make sure the runner from second doesn't want to go to third during the throw.
Here's Will Myers. A single and 2 strikeouts.
See Will Myers right there trying to just swing easy and hit a little base hit to right. He's trying to come unglued right here.
Bottom hand came off the bat. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's a 1-1. 2 balls and a strike.
That'll be frustrating when you watch a couple innings of strike zone opening up and then all of a sudden not so open anymore.
The Cardinals have a right-hander getting loose in the pen. Again fouled back. I've said this before, but there's a lot of fans disguised as seats tonight.
That one just got a foul ball.
Yep. Sunwano getting loose in the pen. Eugene Koo watching intently. Crowd tonight 26,210. 26210.
Would be the paid attendance.
Yes, sir. 3-2 pitch, breaking ball, and fouled away again by Myers.
Would you say half of them had to work late tonight?
Jimmy, I think we've made the point.
Although the seats are beautiful and blue.
Indeed. Here's a 3-2. Rip to Mejia. Double play to Garcia. Made a nice play in the ground ball and then the double play moments ago. So that's the first out. And then this rocket off the bat of Myers turns into a double play. Harrison Bader. First pitch fouled back, got the fastball. Singled and scored. 3-run homer. Is grounded out and struck out. 2 for 4 tonight. Here's the 0-1. And a strike, 1-2. And a strikeout of Bader. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the content descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds alongside. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Scott Warman with us. Al Raboski and Jim Hayes back in studio in St. Louis. They'll have the post-game show for you. Tyler Lyons getting loose in the pen. A strike at the knees to Grichuk. Struck out twice, singled, and grounded out. It's 9 strikeouts in this Cardinal lineup. You know what, though, Jimmy? This day and age of baseball, what's the big deal? I mean, guys strike out a bunch, and the numbers are just going up, up, up.
Outs are made by strikeouts now, and as they're putting the ball in play, they're usually hit hard and all over the place, and the game has definitely changed in that regard.
Misspoke. That was the 10th strikeout in the Cardinal lineup. The pitch high, 1-2. Big gap in right center. See Randall choking up on the bat. The strikeout has become an accepted part of the game. If you can produce with power, draw your walks, on base percentage gets high, you can live with the strikeout. The 2-2. Had a hand on it. Oh, the great effort.
I think he got a wrist on it, or an elbow, or a bicep.
Well, you applaud the effort, don't you? I mean, you have to.
He just missed it by a little bit. Let's see where that. Oh, there it is.
Ouch.
What do you say? That's going to leave a mark?
That'll leave a mark.
That's definitely going to leave a mark.
The 2-2. Then the presence of mind not to go after the ball once it scooted by him. He realized, I need to be off the playing surface.
I keep you out of jail.
So he's back in his seat.
Phone will start ringing soon.
That's a given. 3-2. Strikeout of Grichuk. It's 3 tonight for Keps. Our What's on Tap is presented by Budweiser. Jack Flaherty. Cardinals and Padres will come your way tomorrow at 8:30. And we certainly hope you join us. The Budweiser What's on Tap. I'd like to see Martinez get one more at bat.
Speaking of which, did you see JD Martinez last night?
4 home runs. So guys with the last name of Martinez putting up big numbers in the last 24 hours.
4 home runs with some easy swings. It's got some ridiculous power.
We saw that earlier this year with Scooter Gennett.
It almost makes me think that he has been hurt a little bit by playing in Detroit.
Sure. Hit to short. And we move to the bottom of the ninth. Tyler Lyons, the lefty, that's so good as of late, coming on. Sports and outdoor leaderboard. DeYoung 55. Martinez has jumped up to 34. Luke Voigt, really limited time, 17. But the rookies, the young players, have made a huge difference for the Cardinals and a nice contribution here late. So Tyler Lyons into the ball game for the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals trying to hold on 8-4. Chevy called to the pen. Couple of days rest for Tyler. Lefty's hitting 177 against him. Boy, has he been good.
Righty's only at 207, so see why he could be in a game late to be able to get lefties and righties out. That good slider.
First pitch is strike. With his breaking ball, I can't think of many lefties that have a better breaking ball than Tyler Lyons. Can you? I'm talking about active players.
Just to clear that up.
Yeah. 0-2 the count on Spangenberg. He's probably shocked. Lefty-lefty matchup. This guy's got a great breaking ball, and I've seen three straight
fastballs.
Well,
let me tell you what. I'd put some money on that he's not going to see 4.
He's walked tonight. And over 2. 2-2 pitch. If the Cardinals hold on, they go to 4 games above 500. They would be 71-67. The slider and a base hit. Sometimes you tip your cap.
Oh, you could see right there that he was sitting all over slider, and rightfully so. You have to tip your cap because that's tough to do. Just watch by the body position. Just trying to stay within himself and gets a pitch to hit.
Matt Caesar. Padres have hit into 2 double plays tonight. There's strike 1. Really, for Tyler, it's about being healthy and then finding a spot. You know, sometimes he's been in the rotation, been a bullpen guy. Just getting that chance. 1-1. Curveball, a beauty. It's a team that does not hit into a lot of double plays. Double play with a ground out. Fastball. They'll get the lead man. No throw by Garcia.
Don't you love it when they show that stat and then it's the next pitch where it would be ground ball double play? Just goes to show you a little speed right there will stop that from happening.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you might actually know what you're talking about. And that's a rarity. Here's Austin Hedges, grounded into a double play, 6-4-3 back in the 4th. Hit sharply to 3rd, out at 2nd. They'll end it with a double play. The Cardinals have taken the first 2 in this series. The final tonight, 8-4, and St. Louis back to 4 games above the 500 mark. 3 double plays turned by the Cardinals. Jose Martinez is our Budweiser player of the game. Big night for him. 3 for 3, couple of home runs. And the Cardinals look for another win tomorrow.
Yep, nice job tonight. 9 hits by the offense, 8 runs. But the story, obviously, Jose Martinez with a big night. Hope they can keep it rolling.